is TomoNews for Friday, May 4th. More trouble for Facebook. Social media giant Facebook has recently fired an engineer who allegedly used his privileges to stalk women online. Confirmed by TechCrunch, Facebook launched an investigation into a claim made by cybersecurity expert Jackie Stokes, who said the person was a security engineer and likely used privileged access to find women. According to the excerpt of a Tinder conversation posted by Stokes on Twitter, the engineer mentioned to a woman that he is a security analyst. Then he told the woman that he's a professional stalker, as he also tries to find out who the hackers are in real life. Okay, that's a bit weird. The professional stalker then confessed that he stalked the woman and admitted that it's hard to find out what she's like in real life. Oh, yeah, that's not creepy at all. Stokes said through the man's Tinder profile, LinkedIn, and Facebook's chief security officer Alex Stamos' connections on encryption key directory Keybase, the man is indeed a Facebook employee. After the exchange was revealed, Stamos said the pro stalker was immediately fired from his fancy Silicon Valley job. The social media giant later responded to the incident by saying that access is logged when employees request data outside their purview and that they're warned when the need for access is confirmed. Stamos added that Facebook has strict policy controls and technical restrictions so that employees can only access certain data they need for their jobs, and said whoever abuses the controls will be fired. The incident has become the newest case for potential abuse of user information, as Facebook chief executive Mark Zuckerberg said in early April that he made a huge mistake for not focusing on this aspect. Play nice, China. The U.S. has filed a formal complaint with China after pilots in Africa were targeted by unauthorized Chinese laser activity. The U.S. military's Camp LEMONNIER base is located in Djibouti, just a few miles from China's first overseas naval base, which was opened last year. According to a Pentagon spokeswoman, 2 pilots on a C-130 cargo plane were beamed with high-powered lasers while landing at the U.S. base, resulting in minor eye injuries. Similar incidents had also been reported in recent weeks. Citing intelligence sources, IHS Jane's Defense Weekly reports that the Chinese Navy is suspected of using the laser weapons at their base or on a ship offshore. Reports from American pilots indicated that the lasers were of military grade and originated from the Chinese base on at least 3 occasions. The U.S. has also requested an investigation on the incidents, though Beijing has yet to respond. Chinese military observers did tell the South China Morning Post it's possible the lasers were being used to scare off birds or spy drones and may not have been targeting the pilots at all. Right. Indonesian cop smacks niece over clothing. A cop can be seen smacking a woman so hard she seemingly falls unconscious this week in viral footage coming out of Indonesia. According to Coconut's Jakarta, the woman beating Central Java police officer, identified only as Rianto, didn't like what the lady was wearing. FYI, it was a pink shirt and shorts. Oh, and to make matters worse, the woman he slapped is family. Seeing his niece's choice of clothing, Officer Rianto got mad and decided to get physical. The cops were told about Rianto's behavior, but said his victim, yes, the woman he slapped unconscious, embarrasses her mother and that Uncle Rianto was, quote, asked to keep an eye out on the victim, who consistently shames the family. She often dresses inappropriately vulgar, end quote. They also went on to try to justify the action by saying the woman has mental issues as her husband left her some time ago and that she frequently drinks and dances in the street. But they did concede that police officers shouldn't do things like beat people for what they're wearing. Geez, aren't Central Java police nice? Officer Rianto did apologize, and Coconut's Jakarta reports he won't be charged but sanctioned internally by the police. This nuclear Titanic better not blow up. A massive floating nuclear power plant is now on its way to an Arctic port after Russia's state nuclear corporation Rosatom launched the nuclear plant over the weekend. Russian officials say the academic Lomonosov is set to become the first series of floating nuclear power plants Russia plans to develop. The portable plant is not self-propelled and must be towed to the desired location. It is designed to provide energy to port cities and offshore gas and oil extracting platforms. The floating nuclear power plant will be towed from St. Petersburg and around Norway to a Russian town called Murmansk to take on nuclear fuel. From Murmansk, the $232 million nuclear plant will head to the Arctic to power the oil industry town of Pivik. With 2 nuclear reactors, the nuclear plant will produce up to 70 megawatts of electricity, enough to power a city of 100,000 inhabitants. Rosatom says the nuclear plant is designed with a great margin of safety that exceeds all possible threats and makes nuclear reactors invincible for tsunamis and other natural disasters. Rosatom also added that the floating nuclear plant meets all requirements of the International Atomic Energy Agency and do not pose any threats to the environment. Despite such reassurances, Greenpeace nuclear expert John Heverkamp told Engadget that having nuclear reactors moving around the Arctic Ocean creates an obvious threat to a fragile environment which is already affected by climate change. Don't forget your bug spray this summer. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the number of Americans becoming sick from mosquito, tick, and flea bites has more than tripled from 2004 through 2016. The CDC said over 96,000 diseases caused by mosquito, tick, and flea bites were reported in 2016, up from over 27,000 in 2004. Zika was the most common disease carried by ticks, mosquitoes, and fleas reported in 2016, with over 41,000 cases, followed by more than 36,000 cases of Lyme disease. The surge in infections may be the result of global warming, with warmer temperatures and shorter winters boosting mosquito, tick, and flea populations. According to the CDC, the increases in cases are due to several factors, including growing insect populations that transmit the diseases and increased exposure to U.S. travelers abroad who unknowingly transport the infections back into the country. The CDC also said that more than 80% of vector control organizations across the states don't have the capacity to contain these fast-spreading illnesses. Well, that's good to know.